When Harris and I purchased our house on Oakwood, every house around us, there were 2 houses that were owner occupied, and there was 1 house that was an active rooming house. Every other house that we could see from our front porch was boarded up. So that was in the September of 07. We bought that house. And so then real estate agents would trot us out. Look, Natalie and Harris, this hip young couple, they're working on a house. You can work on a house too. And we were like, hell yeah, you can do it. We don't know what the hell we're doing. You too can live here and do this and all that. So when we sold our house in September of 13, every one of those houses had been flipped. When I first moved here, there was not a Cleveland-Holloway neighborhood. We started working with, through community development and city council and neighborhood improvement services, and so we needed a name so that people could identify us. And someone was like, well, it's basically the area that's impacted is between the Cleveland Street Historic District and the Holloway Street Historic District. So Cleveland-Holloway, that's what we'll call ourselves. I've always lived within about 3 blocks of where we are right now. So I lived on, I bought a house on Queen Street for $55,000. It's very different. It's a very different place than it was when I first moved here. There aren't knife fights in the street anymore. It's much quieter now than it used to be. The crime is much less now than it was before, but it's still there. There is starting to be more of a divide between new folks and old folks. So I see myself as one of the older folks in that I've been here for 12 years. With all of the houses basically being occupied now, we have very few vacant houses. Can only think of 1 or 2 houses that are actively boarded up as compared to, in 07 when there were probably 40 houses that were actively boarded up. I feel like at a certain point, folks were like, oh, there are other fill in the blank, educated, white, liberal, black, PhDs, people from my area, people I can relate to. At a certain point, gay people, there are this other that looks like me, and so I want to live there too. And so it just accelerated on this, amazing pace, then filled in all these vacant houses. So I think it becomes a challenge in terms of keeping the neighborhood fully integrated. And I think also just recognizing that the neighborhood has to change. All of Durham is changing. So are there ways to encourage that change that then create something still that neighbors want to be a part of? At the end of the day, it's where you live. Long term, what needs to happen in the neighborhood, I don't know, honestly.